quick story time on why I would pick entrepreneurship over a 9 to 5. And in a nutshell, because I was broke. So, why I would pick entrepreneurship over a 9 to 5. Long story short, entrepreneurship is way more rewarding, and you feel better when you're doing something that you actually enjoy doing. Not saying that the 9 to 5 that you're working you don't enjoy. I'm just saying you have more control over your own business. So it just feels better when you're working for yourself. Even if you aren't making the money you want to make yet, it just feels a lot better. When I got started with entrepreneurship, really, I've tried so many different things. It's not even funny. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm sure you guys have heard that a million times from other people. But I have tried so many different things, and they have all flopped. So here it is, the peak of COVID, and I'm working a job that I absolutely hate. I hated my manager. I didn't care for most of my coworkers. I was pregnant, and I was broke. And I already had one baby. She's older, but I already had a baby. And then I was pregnant and doing everything else that I hate doing. I hated everything in life at that time. I'm sure everyone did. But my friend was like on this serious, I'm about to get to this bag. And she started going to school to become a realtor, and she started learning all these different things, and she was sending me stuff. And one of the things that she sent me was to the notary public application to apply to be a notary public. And I saw it, and I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with this. They make like $5 per signature. I'm not. So she calls me one day, and she's like, friend, did you apply to be the notary public? We're going to be a notary loan signing agency. Yeah. So I'm like, no, I haven't done it yet. I ended up having to go into the office. I get into my office, and my manager was talking mad crazy. Like, per usual, she's always been a real disrespectful witch. But you gotta make your money, so you find a way to deal with it. So I've been dealing with it. And that day, I had enough. Homegirl was really like screaming, shouting at me, pointing her finger at me like, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't even do that to my kids. I was really like, girl, you are crazy. It's time to go. So I went ahead, paid my $25 to apply to be a notary public, got my certification a couple weeks later, went down to the court, swore in. And then I was like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. Nothing happened. My friend's like, oh, you got to go through the rest of the process. You got to go on NNA, take a test, do this, do that. So I slowly did everything she was telling me to do. But a lot of the stuff, for me personally, it was like a waiting game. Because, like I said, I was broke. I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. I wasn't making the money I had made in the past. Like, I took this job and took a pay cut because I wanted to finish school. And I knew it would give me the flexibility. So that's what I was dealing with. And she's like, oh, you need this kind of printer. You need these supplies. You got to pay this. You got to pay that. And I'm like, whoa, pump your brakes. I don't got it like that right now. But slowly but surely, I got it done. I got everything I needed to get. And I started doing my own research and realizing that a lot more went into being a notary public. So I went in, well, she told me to go to class to be a property manager. I did that. I took a certification to be a mortgage field inspector. Got that certification. Still was doing nothing with any of it. But I will honestly say a lot of it was my fault. I wasn't consistent. I wasn't staying on top of things like I should have. But I keep doing the research, and I stumbled on wedding officiant. So I'm looking on YouTube. I'm looking on these different things, and people are like, yeah, I make this amount doing wedding officiant, blah, 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 blah. And when I saw it, it wasn't even in that moment so much about the money, because I had tried so many different things, like I said, and they all flopped. So I didn't know if money was gonna really come for this or not, come from this or not. But I knew that I loved weddings. I've been watching wedding shows, going to bridal boutiques and trying on stuff for absolutely no reason for most of my life. So I figured maybe this isn't a bad idea. So I went ahead and found Universal Life Church. There's a couple of different other ones too, but I went through Universal Life Church and got my certification, got a mentor, started shadowing people and trying to learn like how it works, because I was nervous. This is public speaking. You know what I mean? So I did my first one and I literally fell in love. I fell in love with officiating weddings, to the point where I was ready to quit my job, and I wasn't even making the money to quit my job yet to be a wedding officiant. I was in love with doing, I am in love with doing it. It's the best job I have ever worked. I have met some of the best people. I have made the easiest money. Well, let me take that back. It hasn't been the easiest money, but I have made good money doing it. So here it is, time for me to go back to work. And when I get to work, I'm like, I don't want to be in this environment anymore. It was to the point where I was starting to wake up and really pay attention to my surroundings. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting paid what I want to get paid, not even close to what I want to get paid. My benefits are trash. My manager comes to work in pajamas. Like, I'm sure she didn't go to the pajama section and get that outfit, but it looked like pajamas. And she wore that outfit 3 out of the 5 days of the week. And then I didn't feel like she really did a lot of work. So she didn't look the part. She wasn't working and expected so much from me. And then I'm looking at the people around me and I'm like, there's so many people who don't do anything and you're expecting all this from me. You're not paying. You're talking to me mad crazy. Benefits trash. And I just made good money on my own. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, no. Now something has actually stuck. I realize what I'm capable of. I realize how much I can make. At one point, I had made my salary, which really was nothing. I had made my salary with entrepreneurship. So I was like, yeah, it's time to go. So I was about to make the move. And then something in my gut, God, my guardian angel, the universe, something was like, don't you do it, because you don't have enough. Like, you're going to quit this job. You don't know if it's promising. Yeah. And my gut was right. It wasn't promising. I had a good, 4 or 5 months run, and then everything just, so I was like, okay, I have to find a new job. But even when I was looking for a job, it's like, I really want to do my own thing. Like, I would pick entrepreneurship over a 9 to 5, because if you put your all in it, and if it's something you really enjoy, you are going to feel whole at the end of the day. You're going to feel like the work that you put in was worth it. You're able to decide the type of people you want to deal with, the type of people you don't want to deal with. You are able to put in the hours as you feel you need to put them in. Somebody talking to you mad crazy, you set your customer service guidelines and what you want to deal with. Working a 9 to 5, I don't knock it. I'll probably be doing both for a while till I'm where I want to be. But I see the difference in it. And I see how working a 9 to 5 takes away from what I want. And I don't necessarily like that. I don't like that. I understand it. I know it's something I'll have to do. But entrepreneurship is where it's at. That's my story time for this morning. Have a good day.